Today's video is going to be about using diatomaceous earth with dry cat and dog food. And I mean, it's my number one question all the time, especially lately. A lot of people really want convenience and cost effective and everything else. And they want to know, can you use diatomaceous earth, the dry powder, in dry food and be able to feed that and not have to mess with the wet food? And the answer is yes, you can do it, but there's some variables to it. So today I'm going to explain how I do it, how it's worked for me, and all about the benefits of doing it and also the negatives of doing it too, because there is it's a little different than warming them with wet food. But anyways, Cookie says hello, and she's sporting her new collar that I made today. I made the cutest little dog collars. They're just for the holidays, but this one's Coco's and this one's Standy's, and they're gonna put theirs on later, but I'm gonna put Coco down and we're gonna get into this. Okay, so like I said, everybody wants to know, can you worm, especially cat people that have outdoor cats and they have a whole lot of them, and they want to know if they can mix diatomaceous earth, food grade diatomaceous earth, in with just dry cat food, and will it do the deworming? Well, yes and no. The yes is it's more for preventative, because they're just getting such a small amount, and it's not as concentrated as giving them a dose in their wet food and making them eat the whole thing. So I mean, if you have feral cats and you have a colony of 10 or something and it's just impossible to worm them all, the best thing to do is go ahead and put it in the dry food. And over time, if they keep eating it month after month, it will eventually get all the worms. But it takes a lot longer than doing it, just the 7 to 10 days that you do in the normal deworming. And if you're new to diatomaceous earth, food grade diatomaceous earth, and you want to know more about deworming your cat or dog with wet food and doing it that way, I have a ton of videos I've made on this subject, mostly because 13 years, 14, 15 years ago, I'm losing track of all that now. It's been a long time. I started on a natural journey with myself and my pets, and I stumbled on diatomaceous earth for flea control, and then I found out it does deworming and everything, and I just use it for so much stuff that I really fell in love with it. And it became a business of mine. So I do sell diatomaceous earth, dewormer, and flea powders and stuff, and I'll link that down below, but you don't have to buy mine. You can go to any local farm store, or you can order it online on Amazon. Just make sure it's 100% food grade with no, chemicals added into it. I do add things into my dewormer, that just kind of supports their immune system a little bit, like vitamin C and lemongrass and probiotics and things like that. But you don't have to do that. That just the food grade diatomaceous earth will deworm them. So anyways, if everybody wants to know the ratio of how much DE do you put with this amount, of dry food. Well, the way I've been doing it, usually I do a 6.5 pound bag, but this is a 5 pound bag of Wellness Core Digestive Health. This is Winnie's, my real old cat. She eats this. But what I do is for every 10 pounds, I do a cup of food, a cup of diatomaceous earth. And you'll want to, you could do more and you could do less, but I just found, to me, my barn cats, always mix it in their food. I have a big, container. Danny! I have a big container that, I scoop their food out of, and so I usually do, I'll do 20 pounds of food in there, and then I add 2 cups of food, 2 cups of diatomaceous earth. And then I just mix it really good. It's harder to mix if I have more than 20 pounds, so that's the way I do it. And then I have one of those feeding containers. Now, when you first do it, we'll show you. Hang on. Okay, so the way I do it, I'm going to show you right here. Move this stuff out of the way. I think you can see. Yeah. Okay. I normally, like I said, I mix it in the container, you know, my big white plastic tub that I feed my cats out of. But you can add this 1 cup, that's about a cup, directly into the bag, which this is a half a bag, so I'm just going to do a half. But and then close it up and shake it really, really good. And that's like super effective way of doing it. But we'll do it right here so you can kind of see when you do it. I'll get a picture of this, but you can see that it coats it like a powdered donut or something. That's the way I usually like to describe it. But and you're like, are my cats or dogs going to eat that? No, they won't. Not when it's all powdery like that. The best way to do this is to let it sit for 24 hours before you feed it. So you'll want to make sure you do this before you're ready to feed them. And what happens is the oils and everything in the food absorb the diatomaceous earth kind of in. And like when you come back in 24 hours, it should all be gone. And that's when you know you're kind of using the right amount. If you overdo it, it will take a little longer, but it will soak in. It'll just take longer than 24 hours. Once it's soaked in, your animals will not know the difference. They won't be able to taste it, smell it, nothing. They will eat it. And I have never had an animal have a problem with that. Now, I already do my chickens this way with their food. I just add it to the chicken food and stir it all up. And then I go ahead and just feed my chickens out of their big trash can, you know, and feed them every day. And so they're getting wormed all the time. And they're getting trace minerals. There's 17 trace minerals in this. So it's like super healthy. And I just do it daily. And I kind of slow down like in December through like March. I might do it once or twice. I don't do it as often because we don't have as many parasites through the winter, but then I'll start up around March. And if you haven't done it, you may want to do it all winter long just to catch up. You know, if your cats or dogs or whatever haven't been wormed. If you have 1 or 2 dogs or cats, it is always best to feed them in the food a scoop, and I have a video on exactly how to dose them. I mean, all my products come with the instructions on the back, and most DE will give you can look it up too. It'll tell you like how much to feed dogs and cats, how much you can take for a human. But it is best to go ahead and warm them for like 3 to 5 days if you're being really frugal, 7 to 10 days, really clear out all the parasites, and then go to this for just maintenance. That would be the ideal thing to do. But like I said, if you have a feral colony, or if you have a lot of dogs, like if you have a large kennel or something, and it's just not time effective to feed each dog a wet food or cat, then this can be done. It can be done. And it works. I mean, my cats basically get this. I do warm them a couple times a year with the wet food, but they basically get the dry like this, you know, all the time. And my cats, my barn cats, who are exposed to so many things, eating the mice and rats and everything that they do, their coats are so slick. Their eyes are super shiny. I mean, you just tell that they're super, super healthy cats. And I know they don't have any parasites at all. But anyways, that's how you do that. And I wanted everyone to know that, you know, it does work for chickens. I also put it in my horses' feed the same way. And I just started putting it in my goats' feed. They say it does not work very well with, you know, like ruminants and stuff with, you know, anything that has a couple stomachs, or I guess they did a study with goats and there were worms in the fecal counts. But I just know that my goats look better when they're getting this. So I don't know if it's the extra minerals or what it is, but I just like to add it to it. And this, you know, food grade diatomaceous earth is already added to our grains, like our, all the grains that are stored for us, for our human consumption, at a 2% ratio. And that is to kill off all the bugs, and things that would be in the storage in the grains. And so that's a, really added benefit too, to add this to your grains and stuff in, in your barn or wherever you're keeping your livestock feed. Then it really will cut back on any kind of bugs eating your grains and stuff like that. I wish it worked for mice, but it doesn't. It just probably makes mice healthier and worms them. But anyways, that is how I mix it into, I'll put, like how I do it and everything down below. And then if you have any questions, you can always email me or get on my website or my Etsy store or anything like that. You can get a hold of me all different ways. But God, it's really cold here in Oklahoma. We had our first freeze last night. I lost all my plants, my tomatoes and my squash and everything. We didn't really have a very good summer, and so everything started like really taking off at the end of the year. And I harvested 14 pounds of tomatoes yesterday. And today I'm going to be going ahead. Our ground isn't frozen, so it's an ideal day, nice and sunny. I'm going to get my garlic in the ground, and I'm going to do a video on growing garlic and using it for dogs and cats, because there's so much controversy around garlic and is it safe, and my animals consume garlic almost every day of their life. I mean, to me, it's the most amazing thing for animals. It would take so much garlic to be toxic. It's just like somebody could say water is toxic to, dogs and cats. Dogs do die of water, too much water, I mean, it happens. And it would take so much garlic for them to be sick that there's no reason to be worried about it being toxic. But anyways, that'll be another video. And like I said, this is how I do it. This is, I was going to say, this is also a really great time where I add in, which I always do my diatomaceous earth, in my big container, and then feed it to my dogs and their wet food all the time. But if you have feral cats and you want to go ahead and, like put in some lysine and, the Icelandic kelp, you can do some turmeric. You can also do, I buy astragalus. It's one of my most favorite immune boosting. But for cats, lysine is so imperative. But the way I would do that is if you look up wherever you buy like your lysine for cats, and I buy it bulk on, I think I buy it on Amazon. In fact, I just bought one. I'll put it down below, but it'll tell you on there, like, 1 scoop per, however many pounds, whatever the instructions are. And then what I do is I just kind of basically figure out how many feedings I have in here. And then I undercut it a little bit. So like I said, they're getting it every day, but they're probably not getting a full dose. And you just don't want them, you don't want to like totally overdose them on lysine. That would not be good. But it's pretty safe. I mean, you can, just figure it out. Just kind of do it that way. And then turmeric, what I do for turmeric is I add, I'll say for 10 pounds, for 10 pounds, I would do 2 teaspoons of turmeric for cats, and then 1 tablespoon of astragalus for 10 pounds. And I'll put that down below. But, and then the Icelandic kelp, this has to be, you have to be really careful with this. You definitely don't want to overdose them on that. I think I do 2 teaspoons for 10 pounds. I have to look and see. I'll put it down below. But I mean, that it can be toxic because it just has, so much iron and stuff in it that it can build up. So you don't want to overdose that at all. And this, you might want to just pinch in each, one, so you know kind of how much you're doing. I know how much, like I'm feeding my cats, and then I kind of like divvied it up and figured it up. But it's a great time to add your supplements where they're going to get it every day, And it's best to add those supplements in with the diatomaceous earth, mix it in real good, and then add it to the food. You don't want to add it to the food and then it'll all fall to the bottom. you know, because the supplement, like a lot of supplements, not so much the turmeric and the astragalus, but lysine can sometimes go to the bottom, and it won't really get on the food. So if it's in the diatomaceous earth, it has no choice but to cling to the food. So that's a tip right there. But yep, that's the way I do it, and it's been keeping my animals very, very healthy. I'm gonna go because I'm freezing and I'm outside. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go plant my garlic real quick and get in the sun, and get my video out on doing harvesting garlic for. I've got a bunch of dried garlic I'm gonna process and make up for my dogs. I use garlic powder. I always put it in the Instapot over their food and cook their food and everything. But I need to put out a few recipes that I've been doing for my dogs. But anyways, we'll talk to you later. Bye.